So next, I want to talk about Your Friends and Neighbors. Season 1 here, the first 2 episodes premiered just a few days ago, right, on Apple TV+. The new series starring Jon Hamm, his first time, really, being back. I think he was on Fargo, right, the last season. But, basically his first time back as kind of a lead starring role in a prestige drama TV show that's going to go on multiple seasons, right? Fargo was only just a limited run, an anthology season. So this is his return essentially to prestige television in this show on Apple TV Plus. And man, is he really great in this. You definitely see kind of shades of Don Draper in this character. I think it was very clear, or maybe they do some sort of improv and that stuff too with Jon Hamm, but it was pretty clear to me that this role was almost written for him. I mean, this just seems very, centered on Jon Hamm himself, the way that he plays this character. Again, the similarities to something like a Don Draper, where, and I guess just Jon Hamm's strengths in general as being kind of that, he just really adds that comedic flair to a lot of lines where some other actors would, maybe just deliver them really seriously or really earnestly. And he just has this ability, maybe like just his facial expressions and his reactions. He's just funny. Like, he's just really adds that kind of comedic sense to a lot of this stuff. And this is a perfect show for that. Like, the tone of the show just lends itself perfectly to that. Because, and I'm still really trying to figure this out, like, I think I still would consider the show a drama at the end of the day, because there's a lot of, plot, and, it's obviously the crime aspect of it is coming in there. So I think it would still categorize it as a drama, but I've seen some, things that say it's a dark comedy, and yeah, like, it kind of is, right? Like, that is the tone of the show, is it's kind of this serious, dramatic kind of stuff happening, and there's a story, there's a plot there. But at the same time, a lot of these moments are funny, like, and it's to the point where, like, something happens, something plays out on screen, and it takes you a couple moments, and you're like, oh, that's hilarious. Like, just being in this position, it's kind of, through the inner monologue, he kind of makes comments like that. I think it's the second episode here where he's sitting on the floor of Olivia Munn's character, right? Her kid's bedroom, right? And waiting for him to fall asleep in his race car bed or whatever. And he even says, like, how insane is this that I'm, laying or sitting on the floor in this, random person's house with somebody else's kid, trying to get them to sleep. And so it's these little moments where, again, it's like, it's kind of this kind of nice moment where he's, trying to help this kid, and then you're like, wait, this is not even his house, this is not his kid, and he's just here, because he's, basically, sleeping with, Olivia Munn's character, the mom. So, it's just these kind of little comedic moments that I think are really well timed, and really well thought out. So, this is Jonathan Tropper, by the way, who is the showrunner. He wrote the first 3 episodes here, and I believe he was behind Banshee as well, if I'm correct. I think that was one of his bigger shows. I think he did a couple other shows. I got to look into that as well, but I think that's where he's mainly from, is Banshee, and I do really want to watch that show as well. Have not seen it. So, anyways, I think his, and the dialogue in the first episode I thought was really well done. Again, the delivery from Jon Hamm with a lot of these lines is what kind of adds that comedic sense to it, where you have this kind of quippy, really fast kind of dialogue. It's kind of brisk pacing as well to the show, and it just really adds it. So Jon Hamm is really great in this so far. I'm sure we'll see more range from him as we go on. These first 2 episodes, it's nothing crazy in terms of kind of, the emotional aspects of it. I feel like we are going to get deeper into that character as we go forward in this season. And I'm really looking forward to see that from Jon Hamm, because we saw it from him in Mad Men, and he was, to me, I even think he was underrated in Mad Men. He won 1 Emmy Award for the series, which is insane. But, I feel like people don't quite recognize how good he was in that show, so I'm hoping that he can show a little bit more of that range as we go forward in this show, because he's already great, so far. So, yeah, I was really, I don't know. My expectations for this show, I guess, were pretty high seeing Jon Hamm back on TV and seeing him in this role. And I would say they were exceeded, though, still, right? Like, I think my expectations were pretty high, maybe just a little exceeded. I do think that we could go even higher, though, with this show. I think it has a really great potential to pay off down the road. I just would like to see a little bit more of kind of a, maybe a deeper introspection, and maybe we won't get that, right? Like, maybe the show is more of that dark comedy and less of the drama. Maybe that's the way that they decide to go with it. But I would like to see a little more of kind of deeper into either, because it's kind of the story of Breaking Bad, right? It's kind of this character who, was not a criminal at all, and never did this stuff. And now he's kind of doing this, making this turn in his life and resorting to these little kind of, thefts or, robberies, right? Crimes. And so I would have liked to see, just a little deeper of a kind of, exploration of why he's Breaking Bad, now. And, maybe we see more of how he was before this happened, right? Maybe before the divorce. And you kind of set that up to where you understand, and again, like I understand, he needs the money, but he also could just go to another job and get another job outside of kind of the finance stuff and try to make some money and make ends meet that way. I don't know. Like, it just feels like there were other options than what he's doing. And what he's doing is kind of the easy way out of things, right? And so I just wanted to see a little bit more maybe of why he's choosing that easy way out, repeatedly in these first two episodes, because, he does it again after the first, kind of big crime that he does. So, anyways, I just would like to see more of that, and I'm sure we will. And so I'm really looking forward to the rest of this season. And yeah, the first couple episodes, I thought the first episode particularly was great. Just a really great premiere, a great way to start off this show. So, yeah, really looking forward to this one. I do still hate the title, though, by the way. Just a terrible title. Not a fan of that. Like, Your Friends and Neighbors. It's so long and just, like, kind of random. I don't know. I get it, right? Like, he's stealing from his friends and neighbors, but yeah, just not great. I don't know why they went with this title, but if that's the worst, criticism that I could give the show, it obviously means that it is quite good, right? So anyways, that's what it is. Your Friends and Neighbors Season 1. Looking forward to the rest of the season for sure. And I'll get to this a little bit later on as I'll talk more about the show, but it already has been renewed for a Season 2, which is amazing. I mean, that's insane and shows a lot of confidence that Apple TV Plus has in it. So I think it's pretty clear that this season's going to be pretty good.